that's exciting. We are going to be the sixth largest bank in the nation now that we have combined. So great things, big expansions, and lots of different things coming your way. So be on the lookout. You will see BB&Ts and you will see SunTrust. You probably won't see Truist as far as the signage is concerned until around next year. So just be on the lookout and know that that's us. Okay. So your financial wellness, 5 tips to help you take control of your future. I'm going to put it in slideshow mode. That way you guys can see it larger. Okay. All right. Balancing everyday expenses, paying off debt, saving for your future. All right. So tip 1, develop a budget. Financial goals. If you want to pay off debts, you want to be a homeowner, retirement, there are different financial goals. Guys, in the chat feature, if you can go ahead and pop into the chat, what kind of financial goals do you have? Short-term, long-term? Anybody want to be a homeowner? Anybody want to pay off some credit cards? Anyone just want to have a surplus of a nest egg come retirement? Go ahead and use the chat feature and throw in a goal of some sort. I'm going to move this over here so I can see this. Forgive me, I'm not the most strategic. Okay. Annetta, what's one of your goals? All right, Kristen said saving for college. Ooh, retirement goals. Awesome. And what about you, Madej? Hopefully I'm saying that right. What about paying a house off? I want to own a home outright. I don't want to keep paying a mortgage. That's a goal of mine. All right. Being a homeowner. Okay, great. Yeah, that's the American dream. Being a homeowner. Well, the good news is, guys, this is not a winning lottery ticket. It is actually something that you can do yourself. The great news is you'll have plenty of partners by the end of this conversation that you can just have at your fingertips. You can reach out to us anytime, but we're going to go over some of these slides and, just think of any questions, guys. This is your time just as much as it is my time. So feel free, take yourself off of mute if you've got a question while I'm going through this, or if you think of a topic, something that you would like to know a little bit more while we go through this, feel free. Okay, know where your money goes. So home budget, we do have calculators to help you figure out what is a good home budget for you. Because sometimes, we have in our head a budget that we think is, relevant and something that we can actually stick to. And then turns out 3 months later, we are trying to figure out, why are we still living paycheck to paycheck? What am I doing? How do I, get this to stretch a little bit farther? And the reason conversations like this are so important right now is because we just went through a pandemic. We're still going through that. I know almost everyone that I know of has been affected in one way or another. So this is why we're having these types of conversations with you guys, is because nobody was prepared. The whole world went through a pandemic. Everyone was financially stressed. They bought up all the toilet paper, guys. I bought stuff in bulk because I was just nervous. I went to the store. I cried my eyes out seeing that there was no meat in the stores. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? In every zombie movie that I've ever seen, I was like, it's the apocalypse. Like, I was just like, what is happening? But what I realized is that during moments of panic and sheer, I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. So I ended up using a lot of the money from my savings because I wasn't prepared. So, this goes to show you that it is important to budget, not just for your everyday living, but budget for times of emergency. How can I make sure that I have a nest egg, that calculates more than just what my daily expenses, my monthly expenses are. So, we do have a home budget calculator that is available to you. If you go to the bottom left side of the screen, you'll see it, bbt.com/myRetirementPlan. At the end of this, I'm going to show you guys where to find a ton of information, calculators, all of that good stuff, and it is yours complimentary just for being on this call. There is no stipulations for you. So record your expenses for the next 3 months. Everything that you do, record it for 3 months, and that will give you a general idea of what is an accurate budget for you, for your household. Oh, what did I do? Why is this not working? All right, hold on. Oh, there it goes. My computer just took a minute to catch up with me. Draft your budget. So think of something in your head, hey, how much per month do I want to spend on food? How much do I am an Amazon queen. Something about the pandemic taught me the convenience of having things delivered to my door, which is a blessing and a curse all at the same time. So I eagerly just order things. So I had to actually budget in their Amazon. So think of the things that you're spending monthly and how do I create that into my budget, not just with my fixed costs, my mortgage, my insurance, my car payment. Think of everything that you spend on a monthly basis and calculate that in there. Household budget worksheets. We also have this available. So if you will throw your email in the chat box, you can private message me if you don't want it out for everyone to see. And I will actually send you this household budget worksheet. This will help you strategically write down everything that is going out, the amounts that are going out, the due dates, and are you on track with them? Put your budget to the test. So for 3 months, make sure that you're staying within that budget. Tip 2, pay off debt. So Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, anybody an avid coffee drinker? Lewis, you a coffee drinker? Look, I literally have my sparkly Starbucks. It is a weakness. I have actually budgeted myself to only purge once a month on coffee. I mean, once a week, sorry, not once a month. I do have a 2-year-old, so I definitely drink coffee way more than I should, but I wanted to really, hone in on my savings. So I broke myself down to only once a week doing the Starbucks and the Dunkin' Donuts. So that's why the coffee is there. So I use my debit card. I use my credit card because points, I want to get my points. I want to do all of that. And then you pay them off. So have all of those readily available. Paying off credit cards, $50 monthly payments, 17% APR. Your original loan is $3,000. Guys, calculating all of this, if you spend $3,000 and you have 17% APR, you're actually spending $3,743. So that's almost an additional $1,000 that you're spending just because of interest. So just keep in mind some of those things. And in 11 years and 3 months to pay, it will take 11 years and 3 months to pay off your balance in full if you're only doing $50 monthly installments. Pay off credit cards with the highest interest rate first. So I talk to people daily on how to minimize their debt. How can I increase my credit? Credit scores are a big thing. How do I help manage this? And I always suggest paying off the highest debt first, or paying off the ones with the highest interest rate first. That way you can minimize those additional costs. So you have the 18% over here, you have the 9% over there, pay the 18% off first, obviously. And there are other tactics as well to get those in shape. You also can do balance transfers with your bank. So definitely, if you don't understand fully, make sure you have a banker or somebody that you can sign up for a consultation. I know that we at BB&T Now Truist, we do offer free consultations. So if you just want someone to go over your budget with you, you want someone to go over your credit, we have that available, and I'll throw up my information in the chat box at the end of this. Sorry guys, my 2-year-old.
Christina.
Yes.
Christina, this is Lewis.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I was just going to add to what you were saying about the budget. It's a great tool to use to kind of identify those areas that you may be overspending in, or identifying areas where you want to reallocate dollars and spend more money in. So it gives you a picture
Absolutely.
of kind of where the money is going. So if you can kind of take a snapshot and look and step back and take a look at, okay, more money is going toward credit card debt than I really am comfortable with, then you need to focus on, let's focus on credit cards. Or more money, we got a lot of money going out for restaurants. Well, let's focus on restaurants and maybe not eating out so much. So it kind of gives you that snapshot to where you can make adjustments to where your dollars are being spent. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and on our app, I mean, I bank with BB&T and Altruist, and we actually have this budgeting tool on our app. It actually calculates for you every time you use your debit card. It'll calculate where you're spending your money at, and that actually helps me kind of figure out, where am I spending money? Where's my wiggle room? Because there are certain areas, your housing costs, your monthly fixed, that you really can't wiggle with that. But food, I know I can wiggle. If I'm spending, $300 on eating out, I know I could budget myself down to $100. I still want to, get out and have a little bit of breathing room outside of my home. But, navigating all of that to where you can, figure out where is your wiggle room. Your additional expenses, like my Amazon, that would be one where I don't need to spend as much as I do. So, okay. So if this process seems too hard, guys, try snowballing your debt. If the interest rate are roughly the same, or you are overwhelmed by the number of payments you have to make each month, make the minimum payments on all but the lowest debt, which you would pay off completely first. Once it's gone, add the payments you would have paid on the lowest debt to the minimum payment to your next lowest debt until it too disappears. So what that means is, if you have, let's just say you have 3 credit cards and you have one that's $200, one that's $400, and the other that's $800, you're going to work hard to pay off that $200 credit card first. And then whatever you were paying on that $200 credit card, you're going to put towards that $400 one. That way you're still, outputting the same amount monthly, but now you've paid off one, and I'm going to go ahead and use that money towards the middle one. And then once that middle one's closed out, you'll do it to the largest one. So repeat all of those until all of your debts are gone. That's for any loans, whether it's credit cards or any, personal loans or anything like that. Sorry, my 2-year-old's doing construction in the background. My apologies. So additional tips. Once you're out of debt, pay your credit card balance in full each month. And to avoid unruly balances, consider using a check card or cash instead to pay off everyday expenses, and buy only what you can truly afford. So anything that you were using towards, once you've paid off those debts, obviously you can use that money to put towards savings and additional things as well. So bbt.com/myRetirementPlan. This is where you're going to find your credit card calculators, your credit card debts, your auto loan debt, other loans and installment debts, and how can you make those fluctuate. And we'll actually give you your per month to pay off your credit cards in 24 months. So again, you have short-term goals, you have long-term. Sometimes if we know like a time span on a goal that we have, we're more eager to see it through. Just like, when you go into a gym, you have a goal of, either losing a certain amount of weight or, creating abs or whatever. If your trainer says, hey, Lewis, if you come in here twice a week in 4 months, you're going to start seeing some definition. You're going to go twice a week because 4 months, it's not that far away. I want to see that definition. So the same thing works financially. If you talk to your banker, you have that financial consultation, and they say, hey, look, I can help you get out of this debt that you've acquired in 24 months. We're going to go ahead and do this credit card calculator and figure out a strategic plan and give you a certain amount, $203 per month for 24 months, and you will be debt free. That's 2 years. That's not a whole lot of time when you think about it. Knowing now what I should have known then, if I could have just put all of that effort in for 24 months, I would have been out of debt a lot sooner. But I just didn't have someone to go through that plan, someone to help me figure out, where am I falling short? What do I need to do? What kind of behaviors, and what is that exact amount? You know, we all want to be out of debt, but we really don't know how to calculate how to make that possible. So these are steps and these are ways that will help make those possible. And again, if you feel overwhelmed, it's okay. You're not alone. And that's what we're here for, not just to have these webinars to give you a bunch of information, but also to let you know that you have people in your corner. You have people that you can utilize as a resource to help see you through. And there's no obligations. You don't have to bank with us. We really just want to help you get to where you want to go as far as your goals. So we offer a variety of calculators on our website to help you start a debt consolidation plan, calculate payoff savings, or find out what your credit score is. Review on the bbt.com/myRetirementPlan. And again, if you put your email in the chat box, I will make sure that I send you all of these links. Tip 3, create an emergency fund. So again, I don't want to stress how we all felt that emergency when COVID hit and everything shut down. Literally every business for 2 weeks plus shut down. Some of them shut down for longer. We felt that hurt. You know, we felt like, oh my God, this is an emergency. And we used a plethora of our savings. But guys, emergencies don't just stop at pandemics. You know, Lewis, you know, we're in South Florida, guys. I can think of one emergency, and that would be my air condition going out. I could not deal with the heat here in South Florida. So that to me is an emergency. What about getting back and forth to our jobs? What if our car just stopped? You know, what if it didn't work and then all of a sudden you can't make it to work? That is an emergency. So creating those emergency funds, vacations, I mean, that's not really an emergency, but creating funds to help, you know, create those vacations is great. Emergency funds for losing a job. Like I said, COVID, you know, yes, if you got COVID or you came into contact with somebody, you had to take 2 weeks off. Then what if your spouse came in contact and then now you have to take off an additional 2 weeks, or your child, or, you know, just, there were people who had to take longer than 2 weeks. Some people who lost their jobs, some of these businesses that had to stay out longer than 2 weeks. So think of those things, medical emergencies. You know, we all want to be in great health, but sometimes we just don't have enough time to take time to make sure that we're okay. Car repairs, paying for college, getting the latest gadget, buying a new car, legal issues, property damage, those types of things. All of those are a huge focus when you think about saving. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you have funds set aside for that. I know, Madea, you said, I want to be a homeowner. That is fantastic. Part of becoming a homeowner is that you have to have funds in case something breaks on there. All right, so create an emergency fund. Emergency, losing a job, medical emergencies, car repair, property damage. Non-emergencies would be the vacations, paying for college, getting the latest gadget, and buying a new car. So how do we do that? Set aside specific amounts each month and work to save 3 to 6 months of our current income in an emergency fund. And if you don't have that money management, it's important that the important thing is just to start. Even if it's only $25 per paycheck, just start. To make it easier, save. Set up an online savings and then have it automatically withdrawn. I know at BB&T, your banker can actually make your savings account invisible. So what happens if we don't see it? We don't miss it. You know, Lewis, if we got paid today and I gave everybody $20 cash and I said, okay, well, let's go do, you know, a cartwheel contest outside. And we all did this cartwheel contest and somehow that $20 cash fell out of our pocket and we lost it. We might look for like 15, 20 minutes for like, oh, I lost that 20 bucks. But we're probably not going to stress about it. Why? Because we just got paid. So we have a lump sum of money. Why don't we start habits like that on a normal basis? That $20 you probably won't miss when you get paid. But now, Lewis, if I gave you $20 cash 3 days before payday and you were working paycheck to paycheck, you might look for that $20
Yes,
for
I
like
would.
30 minutes to an hour, right?
Yes,
Because that might
absolutely.
be my coffee in the morning, my lunch money. I mean,
Gas
there's
money.
a lot of things. So if we just start good habits, they will really start to give us the habit to continue that. And again, if you have it set up automatically, you don't see it, you don't miss it. So they actually make it to where it's invisible on your app. The only way you know what's in that account is if you contact your banker or you go to an ATM. Now, I don't know about you guys, Lewis, we work for the bank, but I'm just going to be honest. I don't like going to the bank if I don't have to, right?
No, people don't go to
Exactly.
the bank that much
Yeah,
anymore.
I don't have to go unless I have to go. So the same thing works for, vast majority of us. If we don't have to, we don't want to. And if I'm trying to save and I have to call Lewis and say, hey, Lewis, I know you're helping me work on my budgeting, but I need to move some money over from my savings to my checking. You're probably less likely to do it because Lewis is going to be like, now, Christina, didn't we just talk about saving? Tell me why you need to move this. Of course, Lewis is going to move it if you need it, of course. But he's probably going to be a good banker and give you a little pushback like, come on now, I'm trying to help you. You said you wanted to be a homeowner. We're setting aside this money as a down deposit on your house. So, they're going to be there to remind you of exactly what you set this up for. So again, that's just a little tad on good behaviors, little things that you can do to start that behavior of actually savings. And if you start with $25, annually, if you're doing $25 a week, $50 a paycheck, that's $600 a year. And I promise you, when you start getting into good habits, you see that money building up, you start rooting for yourself. You're like, yes, I'm doing it. All right. And you may bump up that $50 per paycheck to $50 a week. And then you've got $1,200, even if it's something small, that's still something, and again, if you don't see it, you don't miss it. I promise you. You'll be like, oh, darn, I didn't even realize that money went out. So just again, start saving those little by little. It starts to add up. All right. And we also have an emergency savings calculator to help you determine how much emergency savings you may need and how you can begin to save. So again, they have the results here, amount to save. I have a goal. This one says 15,000. So amount currently saved, I only have $1,000 and that's okay. Savings per month. So you have to start putting in $200 per month with an annual rate of return before taxes of 25%, tax rates, all of that, the annual return after taxes. So your time to reach the target is 3 years, or no, I'm sorry, 5 years and 10 months. My eyes aren't that good. So again, if $15,000 is going to get you your dream home, and that's the deposit I really want to put down on my house so that the payment that I have to make on my mortgage is what I can truly afford, but I'm not settling for a house that's just a house that I can get. I'm actually getting the house of my dreams, but the stipulation is that I have to put $15,000 down. 5 years really isn't that much time if you think about it. Just having that game plan of $200 a month. I'm going to set $200 aside for 5 years, and then I will reach my goal and I can have my dream home, and the payment that I can afford. Guys, again, it's realistic. You have to set goals that are realistic to you. And that's what we're here to help you do, to have those conversations with you and also give you the tools and resources. So you do have these calculators through the website. Sorry, this one's saving for your future. Now let's think about your future, 20, 30, maybe even 40 years away, retirement. By preparing your retirement, now you'll be well positioned for the future. Imagine saving 50,000 for retirement by the time you turn 35. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't think about retirement until my 30s. I know, ouch, really bad. I know. I think I'm on a good plan. I'm maxing out everywhere that I can so that hopefully everything that I'm doing will set me in the right place when that time comes. But one thing is that, so I come from a family who is not very financially savvy. So although I am preparing for my retirement, something that I have to think about is my older generation, my mother. So my mom did not prepare for retirement. So even when I retire, my mom is going to work until she can't work anymore. So what does that mean? Her financial burdens will eventually fall onto me. So am I preparing enough for my retirement, but also for the financial burdens that my mom may, put on me in the future? So these are things that you have to think about. When you think of retirement, are you preparing for yourself and for anything that may occur in the future pertaining to children maybe relying on you when they're in adulthood? I mean, we would love to realistically think when our children turn 18 that they become fully functioning adults who no longer financially rely on us. But guys, that's just a dream. In most cases, your children will still rely on you. So think about those things. Imagine if you save $50,000 for retirement by the time you turn 35. And if you continue to save throughout your career, you could have enough money to live comfortably at retirement. That's why it's most important for you to take advantage of saving for retirement at an early age. And if your company's retirement plan is one of the best resources to help you prepare. If your company does not have a retirement plan, that's okay. You can still set up other options, and having those conversations with your banker is really, truly important to make sure that you are set up in that aspect for you to be able to retire. So how much should you save? 1, AI plans work forever. 2, sorry, let me go back to slideshow. Oh, because it's given us all of these options. Sorry about that, guys. I hit the wrong button. Oh, now it's not letting me. It's fine. We'll bypass this. So how much should you save in your company's retirement plan? Anybody want to volunteer answers? Oh, we've got chat. Hold on. Show in the chat what you think would be the percentage. How much should you save? Welcome, Doris. I see you out there. All right. 5%. Kristen said 5%. So it's recommended that you save between 10% to 15% of your pay today for retirement. Oh, D. Barbara got it right. Good answer, Barbara. All right. So the pre-tax advantage, less taxes, less money out of your pay equals more money. So that might sound like a lot, but remember that the money you put into your company's retirement plan is not taxed until it's withdrawn at retirement. So 10% of your pay won't seem like 10%. To help you reach this goal, your company offers employer contributions. Your plan offers these contributions can have a significant impact in helping you prepare for retirement. So if your company contributes, can help you get closer to that 10% to 15% of your pay. Just figure out what they max out, and if you have the ability to max out and get the match, that is the best, route to take. Luckily, you have time on your side. As a result, another alternative is to start out saving 6% of your pay and increase your savings rate each year until you reach the 10 to 15%. So we talked about savings. We talked about that $25 every paycheck. They have calculators to help you figure out, how do I create this 10 to 15%? So if you were like me and did prepare early in age, that's okay. There's still time. So we have calculators to help you figure out what you need to put aside to make sure that you're at that 10 to 15%. Okay. And lastly, avoid taking out a loan or withdrawal from your retirement plan. Taking a loan or withdrawal will have an unfavorable impact on your retirement future. So I know it's tempting because you know the money is there, but you end up paying so much when you take money out prior to your retirement. See if you're on track towards reaching your retirement savings, or if you want to learn more about retirement savings, you can access bbt.com/myRetirementPlan and click tools and calculators. Again, there's a tool, there's a calculator for literally anything you can think of on the website. All right, and don't forget about other items like creating a will. 70% of Americans with kids under 18 do not have a will. That was one of the most eye-opening pieces when I was on the financial wellness website is estate planning. I'll be honest, I thought estate planning was for older people who had houses, cars, money that were just trying to figure out if Johnny or Rebecca get what after they pass away. I did not realize that it actually starts with anyone who is 18 and above. Again, I can't go too far into it because I'm not certified, but definitely make sure you pay attention to that. If you do have kids, do you have a plan if something happens to you and your spouse both at the same times? I mean, we live in South Florida. The roads are dangerous. I mean, people drive so crazy. Do you have a plan? If you do, fantastic. But for those of us who didn't think about it, don't leave your family to think about what's supposed to happen, because if they're having to prepare a funeral and there are no funds set up and they don't have access to anything that you may have prepared, that's going to leave them stressed as well. So don't forget about other items like creating a will. Can you guess the percentage of Americans that do not have? Sorry, you guys. Can you guess the percentage of Americans that do not have a last will? Is it 20%, 45%, 61%, or 70%? I already gave away the answer. It was 70%. So a new survey done by the online legal service Rocket Lawyer finds that 61% of Americans, 61% of Americans do not have a last will. And if you answer 70%, you would be correct for the percentage of Americans with kids under age 18 that do not have a will. Okay, so I was halfway correct, 70%. Any questions pertaining to that? Okay. Okay. Creating a will and selecting beneficiaries. I'm sure that many of us will fall into this category. However, creating a will is one of the most important things that you can do for your family, and it is never too early. A will makes clear how you want your property to be distributed after you die. And if you have kids under 18, your will determines who you want to raise them in a very unlikely event that you and their other parent can't. There are several will templates available online for little or no cost. However, it may be best to obtain legal advice when writing a will, particularly when it comes to understanding the estate rules in your state. So for my husband and I, we have a 2-year-old. His parents are well into their 60s, so we couldn't fathom his parents taking care of our 2-year-old if something were to happen to both of us. I mean, that was just like, when we had the conversation, they were a little bit offended. They were like, what? Why wouldn't you? And I'm like, he's 2. I mean, you can't put him in his crib because you have bad backs. And it takes a lot of patience for a 2-year-old. So we had to really, think about who would be the most qualified. And I had to have a couple conversations with my siblings, like, hey, if something happened, would you be okay? I know you currently have your own family, but if something happened, would you be okay with caring for my children? So of course we had that conversation, but we also had conversations about finances, because although I can rely on my siblings to care for them, when we think about the finances, the money that we have signed, the life insurance policies, those type of things, would they be properly prepared to handle those kind of finances? So we had to have conversations on, would there be a separate person to handle the finances, or would it be the same person? We actually decided that it would be best to have a separate person handle finances than the person who's actually caring for the children. So this will discuss some of those items as well. Again, things that you don't really think about. You don't think about dying. When I think about dying, it's, I'm 98 years old and, happy in my bed sleeping. You don't think about the accidents that can happen. So having those uncomfortable conversations it is a reality sometimes. It does happen. So you have to make sure that you are, really prepared for instances like that. Don't forget about other items. You have children, grandkids, what happens about saving for college? I'm a first generation graduate, so I didn't have a college fund. It was all me. So that was something that was vital for me to prepare for my two sons. I was like, I don't want them to have to go through the financial struggles that I had to go through, the debt that I acquired. So I started a college fund. Plan ahead for your children's college expenses. To help, consider savings in Section 529 plans or Coverdell education savings accounts, education IRAs, both of which are significant tax advantages. BB&T offers 529 plans and Coverdell education savings accounts to help you. So if this is something that you're unfamiliar with, but you really want to start having those conversations, we can help with those as well. On the infamous life insurance. Lastly, to be sure your insurance protection has kept pace with your needs. Having adequate life insurance to protect your family is critical. BB&T offers different insurance products to meet your needs. Guys, we are the 6th largest insurance broker in the entire world. Anything from pet insurance, life insurance, car insurance, house insurance, anything you could possibly think insurance wise, we can help with that. And you can actually have somebody shop for you. Hey, I'm going to give you some basic information. What kind of plans do you have? I made the call and had one of my bankers, do a life insurance call on me. And I think if I remember correctly, it was like $350,000 and it was only $13 a month. So it's relatively really cheap. If, and they can walk you through what kind of policies there are. And that's based on me, having average health, having 2 kids, being in my 30s, and it was $13 a month. Think about that. Is your family going to be prepared if an accident happens, or are they going to have to financially stress, start a GoFundMe? Hey, we just need, to cover funeral cost. And they've inquired any debts that you may owe. So again, make sure that you're covered, make sure that, you're not leaving your family with any burdens. Make sure that they're prepared. Make sure you have those conversations. And again, we can help you in those instances. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know through the chat. You can private message me. Again, I can make sure that that's set up for you. So 5 tips to help you take control of your future. 1, develop a budget. 2, pay off debt. 3, create an emergency fund. 4, save for retirement. And 5, don't forget about all the rest: creating a will, saving for college, and insurance protection. So we've covered a lot. Let's review. Developing a budget, that's drafting a budget and determining how you can reduce expenses to either pay off debt or save. 2, pay off debt, especially paying off credit cards with high interest rates first. 3, save for retirement, save between, 3 is create an emergency fund. Have 3 to 6 months of your current income saved in an emergency fund. 4, save for retirement, save between 10% to 15% to pay off of your pay today for your retirement plan. 5, don't forget about other important items like creating a will, saving for your children's college, and making sure you have enough insurance. Okay, sorry guys. All right. So just a few more slides and we are done. BB&T is here to help. 5 tips to help you take control of your future. We went over all these. I can actually email this to those of you who put your email in the chat. So I'll make sure you guys get this. And contact BB&T. There's several ways. You can do bbt.com/myretirementplan. Call 1-800-BANK-BBT. That's 1-800-226-5228, or you can visit a branch. I'm also going to throw in my information. So if you guys want to schedule time for a consultation, this could be face-to-face, this could be through email. I'm good at Zoom. I can FaceTime. We can do it over the phone. And I'm also a text person. So the number that I put up here is actually my direct cell. So if anybody is more comfortable just texting, I'm okay with that too. Obviously, I do not have standard banking hours, so you guys can reach out to me at any time. If it's after 6 when your child has gone to bed, like hopefully mine will be doing it soon. I'm okay with that as well. So at your convenience, I am here for you at any time. So my information is in the chat. Please feel free to screenshot that, jot it down, and you guys can reach out to me again at any time. Now that we have gone over some of this information, I also want to throw up some other additional resources for you guys. Let me find it. Oops, sorry, wrong one. So we also have the website bbt.com/atworkwellness. This is for anybody. It is absolutely free to use at any time. You can pass it along to neighbors, parents, children. This is yours complimentary. Also remember this code, because if you are looking to change your banking relationship, we have a plethora of things that we can pass along to you. And this QR code, if you do have your phone on you, I'm an iPhone user. So for an iPhone, hang on, buddy, give it to Bubby. She'll open it. Sorry. If you're an iPhone user, open up your camera app, hover it over that pixelated square, and it will actually pop up a website for you. And I'm going to show you this website as well. Oh, let me BBT at Work Wellness. Okay. And this will pop up. So some of those conversations where we had about the calculators, this is where you'll be able to find and locate those. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see retirement review, contact a specialist. So if you want to set up your financial checkup, again, you can reach out to me directly, or you can sign up here. You can do your retirement review, or you can access Financial Foundations, as this is where you will find a lot of those key calculators, the retirement plans, home ownership, a plethora of information, and it's literally at your fingertips. You can utilize it from your phone. If you have an Android and you're not an iPhone user, you just look up the QR code finder and you will be able to access it that way. If you put your email in the chat, I will make sure you get that flyer so you can utilize that as well. So again, you have Financial Foundations, which if you click on this, it's going to give you over 30 different modules on any topic, from credit, how is it built, how is it established, how is it maintained, to repairing credit, taxes, home ownerships, retirement, investing. So a plethora of information. If you would feel overwhelmed with 30 different topics and you just kind of want to figure out what's relevant to you, I always suggest the personalized playlist. I say it's kind of like your Pandora. If you're more avid on country music, then you'll put in there, you know, country music. You don't want to hear opera. You don't want the music channel to play opera. So it's same thing works here. It's going to ask you 4 different questions based on how you answered those questions. Like if an emergency happened and it cost $600 to repair it, how would you pay for that? Would you pay for it with cash? Would you have to put it on a credit card? Would you have to ask family for money? It asks you a plethora of questions. Again, based on your answers, it's going to give you a personalized playlist. And we also have more relevant topics like building financial resilience and financial wellness during uncertain times, which of course pertains to COVID and things of that sort. So this is kind of how it will look if you do the personalized playlist. It's going to give you something like this, where you have a few different topics that pertain to that type of financial situation. So building emergency savings, mortgage relief, family conversations, healthy financial habits. And it tells you roughly about how long each one takes. The good news is it's not a bunch of reading material. It is actually interactive. So it's going to give you pie charts and things like that, where you can actually plug in numbers that are relevant to you, especially when we're talking about debt management, you know, building emergency savings, budgeting. You want something that's relevant to you and not just a statistic. So you'll be able to put in numbers that are relevant to you. If you are looking for that banking relationship, you do have access up here. A lead at work, that's an account that's direct deposit. You're not required to get something like that. We have other availability for you as well. We even have prepaid debit cards. These are money account cards. So if you want to, you know, really be strict on yourself, make sure that you have a safe and affordable product that will protect you from overdrafting, things of that sort. You will have that through there. If you're looking kind of for a second chance account, again, that's one that may be a perfect fit for you. If you just want a checking account, again, we do have that. If you click on this, it's going to give you a plethora of choices. With that promotion code, you're actually treated as if you are a Truist employee. So the same benefits that are worked towards for us, you will get those as well. So there is no obligation as long as your direct deposit is set up, it will actually alleviate any of those monthly fees. So make sure you plug in that code. Again, I will send it out on email for you so that you have that. And then you just hit continue. And it gives you the different options. If you're not sure which one would best suit your needs, feel free again to contact me. But you have all of those at your fingertips. And again, I will send that out in an email to anybody who put their information on there. So I just gave you guys a ton of information. I want to open the floor up to you guys to see if anybody has any questions, comments.
Christina, I just want to say great job. That was a ton of information. All of it's critical. I think the key takeaway here for me was getting in contact with a banker and getting in contact with you to ask those key questions that are relevant to my unique situation, whatever that is, and get those questions answered and be able to deal with my unique situation. So that's the key takeaway I got from all of this.
Sure you
Great
have
information.
a partner, you know, someone who can at least just give you an overview, look at what's going on in your finances, and just make sure that you're on track for the goals that you have, or even someone to help set up goals for you. You know, look, I don't know where to even start. You know, here's where I was. I made a couple of mistakes. Here's where I'm at, but here's where I want to go. How do I make this happen? And that's, you know, really how we just start developing that relationship. And like I said, you don't have to have an account in order to take advantage of that. I did want to walk through in case anybody was interested, but again, it's not required. But we would love to just have those conversations with you to just start the process. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step at a time. So, I mean, I appreciate your time, and I'm so glad that some of you have put up your emails and you're ready to start that first step. I just can't thank you enough for your time. And thank you for being so understanding with my 2-year-old who, no matter who's home, wants mommy. Sorry, my apologies.
Thank you so much, Christina, and thank you everybody for joining. I hope everybody learned something from this. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Christina. She left her email in the chat room box.
Very good information. Thank you very much. And we're mothers and grandparents, so we understand. So I'll go get some rest. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it.
I didn't know about the insurance,
enjoy,
so that was good information.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, y'all enjoy your weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. We're already at Friday. Woohoo! Few hours away. One sleep and it's Friday. So thank you again so much. be sure to check out our next web meet. We're going to be talking about a few extra subjects. And guys, feel free, like I said, reach out to Kristen or myself and say, hey, I would love for us to have, you know, a Zoom on this particular topic, home ownership, estate planning, for those of you who really don't know where to begin with wills. You know, how do I start this process? Credit. Hey, I've made a couple of mistakes and I really would like somebody to talk to me a little bit more about, you know, how to restore my credit, how to rebuild it, or how do I make sure that my kids are set up, you know, to establish proper credit. So again, if there's a certain topic that you guys would love to have, let Kristen or myself know. That way we can make sure we set that up for you guys.
Thank you, and good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Thank you. Good night, Miss Annetta. Thank you.